Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure meeting you tonight, all of you. And even though I'm not there physically, I recorded myself, and I hope that anything I will say right now will remain with you in this form or another. And thanks to this great technology that allows us nowadays to do so, in some way, I am right now, right there with you, even though this recording comes from Poland, which is my original country, or where I moved for a year now. Today, there is something very important I would like to talk about, and hopefully some of you will get interested along the journey with my speech. So let's start from the beginning. When I was born, different things happened at the same time. The repercussions of my actions echoed in the whole universe, even though I did not realize most of them. Why would I? I was only a little milk-sucking baby who loved his mom very much. And that was the only unbiased fact I knew. She taught me how to fit in this world full of danger and pain. And as a matter of fact, I'm no stranger to pain and suffering. Casting myself in high-budget, tear-squeezing episodes of life I wouldn't recommend children to watch. But those moments, plenty of them in all fairness, shaped me and made me the man. My mom, my dearest mom, taught me how to stay strong by letting me take her own strength away. But she couldn't possibly teach me how to feel, how to view things my own way, how to decipher the world around me, what's good, what's bad, because that came from a relatively long passage of experience, even though I'm only 23, and that's all me. And since there is no reference frame for living, I think I've done a pretty good job. But my early success is the story of the world we live in, and the same one which expects us to fit in. The world population curve is unstoppably rising, with over 7.6 billion people trying to fit in, and we all must expect them to follow a trend, because otherwise chaos would come out. But would it? For instance, in ancient China, they all put a huge emphasis on education, producing these so-called scholar officials, or from Chinese qin shi, who overall formed another social class known as scholar gentry, or shanxi. And between 960 and about 120, that was during the Northern Song ruling period, there was about 300 scholar officials raised and produced, quote-unquote, every year. However, by the end of Qing dynasty, during the rise and fall period, that was about the 19th century, they had about 4,000 scholar officials in total. Too many scholar officials meant financial and bureaucratic disorder. Too few meant an overwhelming amount of responsibility and work nobody could possibly hold on to. The Confucian thought of social expectations demanded certain response from the government and the society itself, but the problem was that our exemplar China built the wall, and not only the actual Great Wall we all know of, but also the proverbial social wall, erected with standardized bricks and social thought that neither was stable nor reliable. We, the global society of ever-evolving people, have built the same exact wall but with different bricks. There are various things cemented inside that wall, and they all will eventually be freed, but there's one that became the focus of today's speech, and it is age. Who decided that certain things must be at a certain age for them to be valid. Well, we are still holding on to this notion very close, and maybe because we don't know anything better, or maybe just because our egos don't want to know anything better. Like the Confucian-minded scholar officials, we cannot only blame the system, but the society too, because the system only does what the society allows it for. I was born with a special set of skills to a society with almost 600 million students all over the world. Against the societal demand on standardized norms for students and my own teachers' demands on fitting in, I decided to push on my own, by my own rules and my own pace, which was rather fast. It took a little of talent and patience, and actually a bit more than a little, larger than life dreaming and selected sleepless nights, and especially a mouthful of coffee. But I did it. I knocked down the doors, and it worked out pretty well. I went to medical school before I turned 15. I published my first book before I turned 17. I started designing my own gene therapies before I turned 18, and got a principal investigator offer before I even turned 20, and established the future biggest company on the planet that the human's eyes have ever seen by 21, and got my first F on the test before I turned 12. And every time I did those things, I got a sigh of exhaustion, not because of their difficulty levels, but because of all the social, cultural, and mental barriers I had to jump over. More than being proud of what I've accomplished so far, I am more proud of something else, of the common denominator they all share. All my experiences and accomplishments, and the common denominator is breaking through the fundamental patterns of thinking. I proved the impossible. I proved that even though you can't change people, you can change the world. And the world we live in, we can change it by modifying the world itself. However, at some point, I realized that the world we live in isn't just people. It's the demands and social classes themselves as structures that build it. And alterations sometimes just aren't enough. Sometimes you must shake before you mix. Sometimes you must burn before you build. I want to live in a world where young people don't have to fight to prove what they can do despite their age. I want to live in a world where people don't frown or shake their heads upon learning the other's age. I don't want to live in a world where we have to wait until the wall will have been broken entirely, liberating all the prejudices, faults, and misdoings so that young people can do anything. It will break the wall by raising up the hammer. The reaction must start the action. The result must predestine the action. The will must give birth to the result. I want to free us from age prejudice once and for all. And I will do it only if we all do it as one world, as one society, but also as the unique bricks we all are. I set up a biotech company whose one of the living thoughts is to make our voices louder and stronger. And I am aware of how much I can achieve as an individual, and I am aware of how much I can achieve as part of a symbol. I have envisioned fighting 5 major flaws of our society, and these are as follows: greed, inequality, overempowerment, egoism, and bias. Today I'm choosing to combat bias. Today we are choosing to combat age bias. I can teach by becoming an example, but what is one tiny example in the world and sea of unbreakable cement? Instead, we can use our experiences to build and maybe possibly burn something beforehand, a new reality. A reality we all will agree upon, but not without some major obstacles and loud no's shout in the air. I have my own answer to how we could build the hammer and make each difference just a mathematical difference. I am in the very early stage of building Babu establishment of scientific talents, or simply best. I will need you to close your eyes for one tiny second and imagine something. Can you do it for me? Can you close your eyes just for 1 minute? Close your eyes and imagine that you are 15 and you were born with a special gift for, let's say, life sciences. Now imagine that you are this teenage boy or girl in your teenage room looking at your at a sheet of paper full of your scribbles, and that you already know that those scribbles will change the world because you know it's the idea that pushes things forward. You're full of excitement because 1, you actually might become a game changer, and 2, you know there's nothing stopping you anymore. You're fully aware of best, and you know you can attend the most universal and revolutionary Academy of Science even if you are a school or anywhere else in the world. You know what you need to achieve, and you know what you want. Your destiny is within your hands. You feel safe and really, really good. Sounds good so far? Now imagine that you are enrolled in best based on your own set of skills, motivation, revolutionary attitude, and personalized test of intelligence. Once you're in, you dedicate yourself to your idea and simultaneously working toward the best diploma, giving you the most universal honorific title respected anywhere you'll decide to go. Imagine yourself being 18, having the best diploma, having the best title, realizing your dream, and building your name as a renowned scientist before you even legal to drink. This is the world we could build. No age bias, no honorific titles, taking years of your life to obtain, no waiting time to satisfy the old guard standards, no financial or ego obstacles on your way to your greatness. Now open your eyes, if you haven't done so far yet. Can you see what I see? My flame might just have become your own, but do you feel it burning? Yes, I know. This sounds like a utopia. Every revolution is a utopia on paper and a change in reality. We change things that before we thought they were impossible, and there we go. Now it's time for you and me to bring our own answers to the problem that is so much within our hands at this time and this hour that we must do it. You all can become a part of this fight, of this revolution, of this symbol next time when somebody speaks of their ideas. No matter how far-reaching and revolutionary and cloud number 9 they sound, don't look at them and try to guess their age. Next time when your own child has something to say, listen to them and try to understand. Trust me, they can be bright and right more times than you on a daily basis. Next time when your own student comes to you with an idea, don't approach them with a pinch of mistrust and a cap of disbelief. Next time, don't listen to the old guard telling you what's right and wrong, because the truth is that they're scared of losing their own position and throne. The more you change things, the more the old guard is terrified. And this only can mean one thing. The revolution is working. Everything my mom taught me so far came naturally. She did not force me to be like her. She gave me a choice. My mom let me be who I am today, and this free thinking spirit has remained within me. This spirit is turning me into a hammer no one else but I myself chose to become. I don't have to break down the wall to its foundations. I may only remove a couple of bricks and start the inevitable process that no one, I say no one, will ever be able to stop. Age is just a number. The world can be burned and rebuilt. People can't be changed, but people can change the world. They only need a flame. And again, do you feel it burning? Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening.